Cormac, bruv. What is up, dude?
All right, I guess I wanted to come on and interrogate your motivations for wanting to start a media company.
Yeah, go for it, dude.
So I guess my initial assumption is that you would do this and have some type of like news media content on there. Is that true, or would it be more of a variety thing, almost like No Jumper?
If I do this, I would envision it to be like the Daily Wire. I think they have the best setup for this.
Oh, okay. So it would be, to be honest, I don't watch much of that, but from what I can tell, I see them showing up in like Snapchat. They've got that Brett Cooper girl who does React content essentially. I'm sure Ben Shapiro does numbers with YouTube and whatnot, but
oh yeah.
Okay, so if you're going to shoot for something like the Daily Wire, I would wonder then, do you value like what was considered the fourth estate, or like objectivity in news media, or do you think that that's kind of a lost cause?
No, I think objectivity is really important, and I disagree with some of the pushes that like we have to be like very political with all of our media. I think reporting things accurately and honestly, I think is very, very, very important, and it feels like that's kind of like a lost thing now.
I like to think, yeah, I mean, I think so too. I think there's a meme where a lot of people would say that it's a lost cause, and they would push for more diversity of biased opinion. And
well, I think that diversity of opinion, and even things like is like diversity of skin color, I think that is an important part. That can be an important part of objectivity. Like having different voices can be an important part of fleshing out and understanding a story, you know? But
Sure.
it shouldn't be all about that. That can't be like the defining fact, you know?
Yeah, I get it.
So like when you have like a picture of your newsroom and it's like all like white women or some shit, I'm like, this is fucking cringe. Like nobody gives a fuck, dude. Especially when you're like other shit. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, you had reminded me. I just watched a big debate between, I think it was Taibbi, some British guy I don't like, and then there was basically it was alternative media versus mainstream media. It was like a 3-hour debate they did, and the concept, Taibbi basically lauded the fourth estate and objectivity in media, saying like we should all strive to be more like Cronkite. And Malcolm Gladwell, I think from the New York Times, basically said, you know, that worked really well back then for people like you because the newsrooms were all just filled up with straight white males, and that just felt like such a low shot. I mean,
yeah, you have to, and this is why like I'm so big on this now. Whenever I do debates or conversations or whatever, you need to ground things out with examples. So like saying that a newsroom is full of straight white men, that can be a good. It can be a good criticism, but you need an example to back it up. So for instance, when you say like it's all straight white men, well, can you give us an example of what's something that they're missing because of their background? Like a really good example I can think of, when me, Erudite, and sometimes Dan were doing like dating advice, or we were doing some of these like kind of call-ins on stream, I don't have a true gay experience. I don't know very many people with gay experience. Some guy called in and he talked about how he had trouble because he lived in some conservative area, I think. I'm butchering the story a little bit, but he lived in some area where there were certain guys that were ghosting him and he wasn't understanding what was going on. It was happening quite a bit. And I thought like, I don't know, maybe they're not interested in you. Maybe you're doing something wrong. Maybe something cringe is happening. I'm not sure. I got an email afterwards from a gay guy who was like, this is actually really common depending on the gay area you're in. Some gay guys start to talk to other dudes and they get more attached, but they'll never meet you in real life or go further because they're too scared of coming out to their family. And that's something that's like, oh, I never even thought of that. Yeah, I guess that could be a thing, but I'm not gay. I don't have that experience. I never even knew that was a thing people worried about. So that would be like an example where like, if you're reporting on certain stories or whatever, like somebody with that lived experience might actually be able to bring something to the table where it's like, you're not going to know this, or you're not going to think about this because it's not part of your experience, whereas like a more diverse background can give it to you. But you have to have those examples. It can't just be like, just having a black person doing like financial reporting isn't like rounding out your cast any better, you know?
Yeah, I get it. Have you ever spent much time watching that Bill Maher show?
Real time or something different?
Yeah, sorry, real time, exactly.
Not too much, but like I've heard of it. Yeah, what about it?
I used to be someone that would watch that religiously because I thought, and Bill would still say this, that he does a really good job of bringing on people from across the board, and they're totally objective and they stick it to the establishment. And like to the point where I used to like clap along in my living room with some of these like liberal points he would make.
Okay. Yeah. Now you're watching me. I'm like a younger version of Bill Maher, but okay, go ahead.
Oh, if only you knew the travels I've been on in terms of news media. But I laugh at it now because I used to watch Bill Maher and he would have on a basically an edgy Republican, an edgy young Republican, and they would make a decent point. Not that they were racist or they were hateful or anything, but they would make a critique of the Democratic establishment, and it would infuriate me because I was so tribal at the time. This had to be like 8-10 years ago, and I couldn't figure out at the time. I literally couldn't process why I was so angry at this guy making a good point. And I watched Bill Maher now, and I can't really piece together exactly why I've become so anti-establishment, but I see all these people there. He's bringing on like CIA types, bringing on New York Times writers, and it just, I'm not sure if the media has changed in a way where it's become so much less objective, or if I am just opened my eyes to it in a different way. So
yeah, there's a saying that somebody gave me a while ago that is actually so fucking true, and the saying is if you don't know how anything works, everything seems like a conspiracy. And I think what happens is there's a lot of society where we don't really know how it works, and then as soon as somebody points a spotlight out and they go, oh my god, did you know this or this or this, for some reason in our brains we're thinking like, holy shit, there's a lot of fucked up shit going on here, like why is nobody talking about this? But in reality, it's always been that way, you know? Like, if I were to make like a report saying like, did you know that there are fucking bugs in your fruit, right? When you buy fruit from the store, the government knows there are bugs in it, and it's measured, and there's like 3 insects per thing. Like, the FDA is crazy, blah, blah, blah. Like, that story might go viral and be like, holy shit, like, I can't believe we're eating bugs now. Like, the Bugman fucking meme is true. But then it's like, if you find out, like, historically, well, no, there's always like some minimum threshold. It's agriculture. There's always gonna be bugs in your food, or pesticides, or chemicals, or hormones. Like, there's gonna be some minimum level always, you know? Yeah, these are things where it's like, if you don't know anything about them and then you expose them for the first time, you feel like, holy shit, the wool has been pulled over my eyes. When in reality, like, the world's always worked this way. You just haven't like paid attention to it, you know?
Sure. Brief segue. So I think for that Ohio train derailment story, I think you did a decent job covering that. The most insightful thread I saw on Twitter basically it looked at all of the chemicals that were on the manifest of the train, or at least the best they could tell at the time, and then they referred to, I think it's some type of regulatory agency has a scale that measures how long these different type of toxic chemicals persist within the environment through different agents, whether it's like water, air, or through animals that eat it. So that I thought was so informative, because it really broke the story down to its most like base components, I think, without any loaded language. And I don't know, I saw the chat message you had about like what channel or what direction you were trying to take the channel. You want to have people on you disagree with, so I was intrigued by that. And I guess I just wanted to give the input. I thought that like the moments where you try to break down that loaded language when you have people on where you disagree, that's like the most cathartic thing to listen to.
Sure.
And I thought that was really like, I know it kind of ended up blowing up, but that Mr. Girl conversation you had about whether you would categorize Fuentes as a Nazi, that was really great to listen to, I think, until ABBA kind of derailed it. But essentially you were asked to break down that definition into 3 components and then see how, like you said, you get examples of how each thing would actually apply to this definition. That was definitely a cathartic listen, and you know, I totally understand how that ended up blowing up. But yeah, in terms of the channel, I wish you luck. I played a lot of video games on Game Battles and MLG back in the day, and to flip that into a streaming career, it's impressive, and congratulations on that.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, with people like Hassan paving the way for me, you know, I think I was always set up to succeed. So
it's easy when you can do that for you, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, hey, that's all I got. Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, no problem. Have fun. Be careful.
All right, take it easy.
Bye. These are all gonna start running again. Hot Uncle Sam, what up?
Give me one. Holy shit. Let me take you guys pause because they're ass. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, hello?
Hi, I'm so sorry. I'm at work right now, but I didn't want to lose my opportunity to get in.
Well, you made it. What's up?
Yeah. Hey, is it possible that I could try and get in later, or is this my one shot? Because I just have to clean up at this point, sweep and mop, and I'm out of here. So,
how much later?
I could get in like 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'll keep it going just for you, okay?
Daddy, I love you. Thank you so much. I will be back. Thank you.
Be careful, buddy.
Bye.
Rare. tier 3 caller. Will.
Oh.
You're in.
Base. I'll represent the Schizo tier 3s, alright?
Okay, what do you got for us, buddy?
I just have a few questions.
Yeah, go for it. I got answers.
Okay, listen. I like the idea of the ban armor for depending on what tier sub you are.
Okay.
But can we remove... can we change it for nukes instead of like snipe bans? Wouldn't that just be way better?
Oh, like if the ban armor protected you from getting nuked or something?
Yeah.
Hmm.
This just make more sense because, I mean, let's be honest, it's you. I've seen you rage type in chat 50 times because someone gets
Bro, when are you doing fun talk on Kick, bro? Let's go.
Sorry, I just woke up like 3 minutes ago.
Damn. Wait, does the armor really not protect you against nukes at all?
Nope.
Huh. Maybe it should. I'll think about that, okay?
Alright,
Bro,
so that's not
there's
happening.
no fucking way this is possible. I'll think about it. I said I'll think about it, okay?
Sure. Alright, next question. DGGcon. You saw how many people came to you for Georgia. And this was for the most boring shit ever.
General, they both have a high glycemia.
Imagine
so
a
if you want to have diabetes in
DGGcon
10
with all
years,
the
keep
Hold on
doing
one
that.
sec. Nobody donated for 20 minutes and now everybody wants to donate their fucking messages. Okay, let me pause these.
Alright.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm sorry. Say what you just said again.
I said DGGcon,
Oh.
a convention of DGG. You got like a lot of people show up for
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work.
Georgia,
And I don't
it's
even
like-
know what fucking events we would plan. Like, what are we gonna do? You're gonna walk around to booths like, oh, here's the booth like in commemoration of the JonTron debate. Like, push a button to play
No,
sounds.
we
Like,
just
what the
want to
fuck
look
would
at
we
you.
even-
You'll be like our little zoo animal. I don't know. Figure something out. You're smart. You got smart people in the community, right?
I don't know what we would do. That's the issue.
Well, like I said, we can figure it out. People in the community, orbiters, you, I don't know, something.
Okay. Well, start planning it and then get back to me with a
Okay,
write-up.
yes. I'll get 50% of commissions, alright?
Okay. Okay.
Alright, wait. Next, final question.
Mhm.
It's been an on and off thing. So, at the beginning, you loved the misspeak memes. You were so happy about them. You were laughing all the time. And out of nowhere, you started hating them. And you started nuking chats for it. And now you're like, you don't care anymore. What happened? I don't get what was the change in
Well, because
mind?
we curtailed it a bit. The problem with the misspeak meme was that, like, in the middle of, like, every serious conversation, like, misspeaking is fairly common. Like, people are going to misspeak every now and then. But the problem is for every single fucking conversation that started happening on a stream, and anytime somebody would misspeak even a little bit, like, chat would get overwhelmed with it for, like, the next, like, 2 minutes. And it was just getting so fucking retarded. And I was like, okay, well, we can't joke about anything because people always, like, destroy chat. And then, like, the chats would get destroyed, like, for every serious conversation. So, yeah, I was like, okay, well, no more.
Yeah. All right. I get. But yeah, no, it's just because I remember back in the model when you were playing with Dan and Mood, you and Mood always fucking did the misspeak
Yeah,
shit.
I mean, it was different then because it was just like games and like fun shit, but like it started to carry over into like every single serious conversation on stream. Like anytime somebody would even remotely misspeak, it's like everybody's like spamming it for like 2 minutes. And I'm like, okay, well.
All right, makes sense. Wait, can I have one more question? I'm a tier 3. I don't have a lot of chances here, you know.
Go for it, dude.
Okay. For charitability, does your charitability for like people you're interacting go down with like the less one-to-one you have with them? So like, and like in person, you're like the most charitable I've ever seen. When you're in I guess a webcam Discord call, your charitability is still not there. It's still there, but not as high as like in person. Or if it's like someone you're like messaging, like you don't even see their face or hear their voice, you have like negative 500 charitability. Is that like a thing?
Probably, right? The more you interact with somebody, the more like humanized they are. So like the more human the interaction, the more you're probably cutting them some slack on both sides, I would imagine.
Yeah, but do you see yourself losing charitability with like the less humanizing, I guess?
I guess I probably dehumanize people the most, but you only have text conversations with them. Yeah, that's probably true.
So like, yeah, the chatters. I'm just, I'm defending the white names that get the 30-day nukes
Right.
or the IP bans.
Well, sucks for that.
All right, that's yeah, I guess so. Wait, never mind. Too much.
Go for it. Go do it.
Imagine if DGG had voice over IP and someone says something so stupid, you can right-click and force them into a call.
That sounds like it would be a lot more work than what we currently have for our shit, but I'll think
Yeah,
about it.
but listen, you got smart people. All right,
Okay, have fun.
that's it. See ya.
Gay sheriff. Constantly bouncing back and forth between fan and anti-fan. Where are you at currently in your arc?
I have never been an anti-fan. I don't know where all this slander is coming from. I've always loved you very much.
Okay. Well, what do you got for us?
Okay. All right. My question. J.K. Rowling, opinions unrelated to transgender people. Where do you stand? Because I see a lot of leftists talking about it, and I don't think I've heard you talk about it.
I don't have strong opinions outside of the trans stuff. I don't know. I don't have very strong opinions about her. Why?
Like I see a lot of takes on Twitter that are kind of trying to retroactively indict Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling for being racist, anti-Semitic, all the buzzwords. And
I think she used like kind of some dumb tropes, I guess you could say at the time. Like calling a Chinese character like Cho Ching or whatever the fuck is kind of dumb. But I wouldn't call it racist. That was just kind of dumb. She could have been better.
Well, I wouldn't call that racist either. But
okay.
I guess we can agree to disagree.
Wait, you would or wouldn't call that racist?
I wouldn't. Because like.
Wait, what are we agreeing to disagree on?
Oh, like I don't think that Cho Chang, calling a character Cho Chang, is like racist.
Oh, at all?
Okay.
Is it even a real Chinese name? I mean, I just learned yesterday the most popular online Islamic debater is called Muhammad Hijab. I would have assumed that was a fake name, so I don't fucking know. Maybe
everybody has different names. I was talking to a Chinese friend I have, like from China, Chinese, and I asked him like, "Oh, would Cho Chang be like a weird name for someone to have?" And he was like, "No, that's like a totally real name." I think people just like see online like, "Oh, Cho is a Korean last name, Chang is a Chinese last name." Clearly, she just matched them together, or she tried to say Ching Chong and messed up. But I feel like people are just ascribing.
Then I have no fucking idea. I don't. Yeah, people just get mad at everything then.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to. It's just like I see like a lot of the culture war stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, this is like so stupid. But
sure.
if you don't care about that, it's just a transphobia then that she has, in my opinion.
Sure.
Do you think that like enjoying Harry Potter now is like fine?
Yeah, I don't think that there's like transphobia inside the work of Harry Potter. I think it's fine.
Oh, I think there is, but
wait, where's that at?
In Rita Skeeter's character.
Was she one of the journalist people?
Yeah, she was the journalist. Yeah, like the way she's introduced. I remember I was rereading the Harry Potter series recently, and I was like, oh my god, this is actually transphobic. Basically, the way she's introduced is they introduce like she has a bunch of artificial feminine characteristics. She has fake crocodile handbag. She has like obviously fake lipstick, fake eyelashes. Everything about her is fake. And then also they talk about how her biological attributes are masculine. Like she has a mannish hands. She has a really like strong jawline. And like I'm like, I don't know about that. I think that's.
Was it supposed to be a trans character, or was it just more like hinting at the fact that she's like a gossipy fucking like hollow loser that has like fake crocodile shit? Fake like, is it really supposed to be like a?
If it was just the fake shit, I would agree with you. The fact that she's like, oh, she has mannish hands, I was like, okay, I think this is like a sign of things to come, in my opinion.
Really? Can a woman never be described as having mannish hands? Is that?
I mean, I didn't say never, but when you combine that with the artificial femininity around her, and the fact this is like a very like evil character, it kind of sounds like, you know how like when they'll queer code villains to like make them seem worse, like give them kind of gay mannerisms to like indicate to the reader, oh, this is a villainous character. I feel like that's what she's doing there.
Okay.
To everybody say that I'm reaching in chat, literally look up the fucking passage in the book. It sounds really bad if you read it. But
well, yeah, but does it actually, or is it just because we're reading this in like 2023 where we're like hyper fucking vigilant against anything that can seem even remotely transphobic, and if it does, we like lose our fucking minds over it?
I mean, I don't have like the passage to pull up right now, but I mean,
like I think if I read Harry Potter today, I think I'd be a little bit sussed out about like the Gringotts fucking goblins. But like reading it back then, I don't think I. Wait, what?
They don't look like why would you though? They're goblins.
Isn't there like aren't they like hook nose and there's like that star pattern in the fucking bank when they go in the movie?
Not in the books.
No, it's not in the books, but in the movie that was released in like fucking 1942 or whatever, okay? It's a fucking old-ass fucking movie. Like, they still had that shit on the ground. But if it happened today, I'd probably be a little bit more sussed out, maybe.
I'm not gonna, like, debate bro you on every point, but that is just part of an actual bank. Like, they didn't, like, make it up for the movie. They just happened to use a real bank for the setting.
Yeah, but I could say same thing for the Rita Skeeter thing. Like, some women can be, like, fake as fuck and, like, masculine and just, like, unpleasant to be around. I mean...
but like that was like intentional. Like it was intentionally made that she gave her the attributes. She didn't accidentally write her using those attributes. But you can accidentally set it in a bank that has a Star of David on the ground. Like it's definitely a detail that probably nobody noticed. Like I would believe that. I mean, maybe you think differently, but that's what I think.
Okay. I would be surprised if she cared about trans shit back then, because I feel like trans stuff was so much more a like minority issue. Like I don't know if anybody was thinking much about.
I would honestly believe that she didn't even know that trans people existed. But yeah, I think that the idea of having kind of like a masculine person and like feminine stuff around them, I think that's what bothers her. It probably bothers a lot of people. That's kind of the impetus for her transphobia. That's what I kind of see.
Huh. Okay.
But Oh, I don't know if you covered this on stream because I haven't watched it recently. Did you ever cover Hogwarts Legacy and the kind of the weird stuff around that?
No, was there ever anything actually weird, or was it just people being way too fucking paranoid about like every little thing? Like the kokla or whatever the fucking old Jewish instrument that people were saying.
Yeah, that was a stupid fucking criticism that people just make because of whatever. The thing that actually got to me was the trans character, whose name is Sorona Ryan. I was like, okay, there's no way they did this by accident.
Wait, what's wrong with Sorona? Is that like a real trans person that's bad or something?
No, like it's just funny that like the name has Sir in it and the last name is Ryan, like a masculine name. I just think it's funny. I don't know. But other than that, it's just people getting mad over nothing. I feel like a lot of the J.K. Rowling stuff is that. Mm-hmm. I just know that you liked Harry Potter as a kid. I don't know if your opinion has changed over time.
No, I think it was fine. It's like good, like it was like decent, like young adult stuff. The main complaint I had about Harry Potter then that I still have now is it felt to me like the character's maturity reset after every book, and that bothered me. I felt like Harry Potter would mature quite a bit towards the end of a book, and then at the beginning of the next one, he'd be right back to being childish. Especially on the 7th book, that drove me crazy. That it felt like a bunch of like grade school kids getting kind of bored hunting Horcruxes because like it wasn't fun. And I'm like, you guys have been through so much at this point. Like, is this really like that reversal of character development? That bothers me in a lot of media. But yeah, that was probably the one. That was the biggest criticism that I had of Harry Potter even back then, and I probably still would. But otherwise, like I thought it was fine. The young adult.
I think that's actually kind of a bizarre disagreement because the 7th book is notable because it's the only one that doesn't take place in a school. So I feel like it's natural for them to get sick of it because this is the first time they're not in school. They're just kind of traveling around the country. That's a different setting. They're obviously going to react differently.
Sure, maybe, yeah. It was just weird to me that like you guys have been like doing some like world-ending shit for so long, and like Ron is just like, I'm so bored. I don't want to do this anymore. And they've been hunting for what, like a month or something? It wasn't even that long. I don't know. It just seemed kind of silly to me, but.
Well, Ron's main like thing was about his family, right? He's worried about his family, and he was like away from them, and he's like, we're really just doing this dumb shit. Like I just want to like live.
Well,
and then Hermione was
like,
fine
they
with
kind
it
of have
because...
to find these like Horcruxes, right? It's pretty fucking important. Or that Volda dude is going to destroy the fucking world.
That's like, isn't that like kind of a classic conflict in literature? Like you have personal things that you care about, like your family, and then there's larger world-ending things, and you have to balance those things in your life. And so Ron, it chooses his family at first. And
yeah, but I feel like if he was saying things like my family is unprotected, I feel like I have a responsibility. I need to go home and I need to like care for my family. Then that'd be one thing. But I could be wrong. But my recollection of those fights was literally him basically just being like, like I'm really bored and this is boring and we haven't even found any Horcruxes yet and this kind of sucks and like I just want to go back home. That's what it felt like to me. It didn't feel like I need to go home and defend the ones I love. It felt more like I need to get out of here because this is hella fucking boring.
Okay, I think he definitely like textually expressed that at some point, but definitely the vibe was like, this is annoying. So I think I can agree that that's how it felt reading it. But other than that, no, like, I mean, a lot of people say the beginning of the 7th book is boring. Did you find it boring, or was it just like, this is unreasonable?
No, I didn't think it was boring. I just didn't like, it just felt like the characters kind of like reverse development sometimes. That was a feeling that I had a lot back then, but.
It's just, I don't feel that way about any other book. I think she did a good job of like covering different conflicts in each book, even if it felt kind of segmented.
Something also that would have been way more interesting to explore, but it kind of got like, it got really sideswiped. It felt like we got a very dark version, not even like a Machiavellian, but like kind of a dark version of Dumbledore at parts of the 7th book. And that's like completely glossed over. We don't really spend much time exploring that.
Really? Because I feel like they spent a lot of time exploring it. In fact, it was probably the main thing that was going on, besides like the actual hunt for the Horcruxes. It's kind of revealing more of Dumbledore's secret life.
Yeah, they revealed it, but like I feel like Harry Potter never really confronted that. Like it was more kind of like, I feel like he had the realization that Snape wasn't a bad guy by the end, but I never feel like he got the revelation of like, Dumbledore is actually kind of a shitty dude. Like, I would have expected maybe a few lines, maybe they didn't have time in the book or whatever, but like towards the end when he talks to him like in his brain or whatever, like Dumbledore still comes off as kind of like, like the old wise, funny kind of like cool dude, right? There's never like a moment where Harry's like, you're kind of an asshole, dude. You're a little bit of a piece of shit. Like, what the fuck? But it seems like he's just kind of like back to normal on that. But I thought it was weird because like, I feel like they could have, honest to God, they could have hand-waved this by saying that like pensive tears can be a little bit biased to the observer, maybe, so that maybe Snape was recording memories not completely accurately. But I feel like Dumbledore crossed the line a few times in terms of not just being like Machiavellian, like we have to do this, it's for the good of the world. He came off as kind of like an uncaring, crude asshole. Like, for
I think
instance,
that
if there
is-
would have been like a disagreement between Snape and Voldemort, where Snape was like, I think he uses the term like lamb or pig to the slaughter or whatever. And if Dumbledore would have been like, I understand, like, this is a really rough choice and it's hard to figure out what we have to do, blah, 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 blah. Like, that would have been like a Dumbledore answer to a difficult question. But I feel like in Snape's memories, Dumbledore's just like, fuck the kid. Like, who cares? Like, fuck him, kill him. Who cares if he dies? Fuck him. Like, that was the impression that I got. I was like, damn. Dumbledore's not on some, like, this is a really tough decision shit. Dumbledore's on some, like, power trip. Like, I don't give a fuck shit. That's what it felt like.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, when he says to Snape, don't tell me you've started to grow for the boy. I'm like, damn, that's a Dumbledore answer?
Yeah, that was definitely, yeah, I definitely remember that being a weird dialogue. I just disagree with the feel. Obviously, this is our impression of it. When I go back to the book, I feel like Dumbledore's complexities and whether he's a good or bad person, I feel like that's something the book does deal with a lot, especially in the 6th and 7th books. But if you don't remember that, then
do they deal with it in the what is the 6th book again? I'm trying to remember.
The 6th book is where Harry Potter goes to Dumbledore to kind of like discover stuff about the Horcruxes. Like they do Pensieves a lot, and then they go to the what was it, the fountain, like the big water.
That's in
puddle
book 6. That's not in book 7.
That was definitely 6 because
Gotcha.
Dumbledore.
I feel like I understand that they deal with the sordid history of Dumbledore and like Grindelwald or whatever the fuck that guy's name was ever. I feel like we never get a realization from Harry that like Dumbledore is. I guess it just surprised me that in Snape's memories, Dumbledore doesn't come off as a good guy. Do you agree or disagree with that?
100%, I agree with what you're saying.
And I don't feel like we ever get that realization from Harry. They're like, Dumbledore's kind of he's not a good guy. Because
Isn't that like kind of the entirety of the 5th book? Is like he's like mad at Dumbledore because he thinks like he just doesn't care about him. Like the only purpose.
Yeah,
of his
but it's like one of those
existence
things
is,
like, oh, you don't
prophecy.
care about, but then you find out that like, no, actually, you know, Dumbledore does kind of care or whatever in his own way, right? I feel like I'd have to go and reread these. Maybe my impression was actually wrong. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'd have to think, or maybe I'm leaning too heavily into the movie and I don't remember the book as much. But I feel like I came away thinking like, in that final conversation that Harry has with Dumbledore at like the train station in his brain or whatever with the weird Voldemort fetus, it just feels like another kind of like whimsical, happy, fun like Dumbledore thing. Do you disagree?
Yeah, I mean, okay, I disagree, and I understand why you're saying what you're saying. I don't know what happens in the movie because I haven't seen them in a long time, but in the books, Dumbledore literally starts crying and saying, "Can you forgive me? I was such a piece of shit to you. I treated really terribly." And then Harry's like, okay. Like, I definitely remember that being like a scene. But maybe it gets glossed over in the movies. Maybe I'm remembering it differently. I just remember that.
I want to Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows.
The chapter is called King's Cross.
I feel like he does like a little bit of forgiveness here, but I feel like we never get like the full on recognition. Like Dumbledore is like a real bad dude. But I don't know. Sorry, I've spent a lot of time on this now. But
I mean, I think that's true, but they argue about it kind of in other parts. Like I think the 5th book is much more about the prophecy because that's the book that is about the prophecy, and I think that like a lot of the shitty stuff he does is related to the prophecy.
Okay.
I don't know if they mention it later. I feel like they do mention it later in this chapter, but I don't remember.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this.
Right. Well,
this is the scene where like they talk about the fight with Grindelwald and how he liked him. I mean, I don't know if you want to read that too, but that's kind of what I took from it.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, anything else for us?
We can have a short thing about Dumbledore being gay because you have a problem with that.
Yeah, I think it was cringe as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, okay, we can at least agree on a couple of things. Do you think that it was actually a brave statement for J.K. Rowling to say that Dumbledore was gay at the time she said it? Or do you think that was just virtue signaling?
Virtue signaling.
Really? In 2007, was it virtue signaling?
I mean, she was already she was shielded from all of fucking life's ills and problems. She was already filthy fucking rich at that point. Yeah, fuck her.
That's separate from what I'm talking about. Was it in 2007? Was it a virtue?
Well, no. Hold on, wait. I don't think it was separate. I think that's like paramount. I think it's incredibly important because like if she had made that statement while writing the book, that would have been a big deal. You're risking tanking the success of like your children's fucking story shit to add some gay stuff in here when parents are already a little iffy because of like wizarding shit or whatever. That would have been brave and that would have been really cool. Like, holy shit, I actually have some real gay representation in like literature, in popular young adult fiction literature in like 2004. That would have been insane. But to do it afterwards, like, oh yeah, I always thought Dumbledore was gay, and I was like,
okay, wait, hold on. How long afterwards do you think that she said this?
Wasn't it after the 7th book came out?
Yeah, it was like a month afterwards.
Yeah, so fuck it. She already had all her shit out.
I mean, the movies were still coming out. She still stood a lot to gain from the series. It wasn't like it's over.
I just think it would have been cool to have like some of that in the book. That's what
I agree 100%.
So I feel like doing it afterwards,
just because it was after the release of this last book means it couldn't have possibly, been in her intentions.
Yeah, I mean, it could have, like, maybe it was pure the whole time, but I'm just saying that, like, to do it after the last book is even released is just like feels, and it's not like in any of the movies they fucking talk about Dumbledore being gay at all either, right?
The movies make my argument a lot worse because they didn't say anything in the movies.
I don't even think in the Magical Beast shit they had anything about him being gay, did they?
Nope, they didn't. But I feel like that's weirder because in modern day 2023, you can put that stuff in the movie, and people do that literally for the purpose of marketing. So it's weird. It's actually especially weird that they didn't do it. That makes me think, like, I don't think it was Rowling's decision. I do think, like, it was China or whatever that made them not do it.
Bro, she's like an actual billionaire. She's like one of the richest women in the world. Okay, you don't think she had any control?
What is the other reason?
What is the other reason? Why they didn't have him being gay?
Like, why couldn't they just, like, put that in?
Because she never envisioned him as being gay. It was probably never part of his character. And if anything, he almost comes off as like
the genie being a snake woman. The movies are a bunch of like cash grab bullshit.
Wait, they never what?
She probably never imagined Nagini being like a snake woman, right? They make up a bunch of random shit for those movies.
Wait, did they make Nagini a snake woman in the movie? Am I missing something?
Yeah, she's a woman that turns into a snake. Spoilers. Like, she was a woman once and then she turned into a snake.
Was that in the book? I don't even remember that.
No, it was a total retcon. They retcon a lot of stuff in that movies, and that's why.
I mean, that doesn't have anything to do. There's not like a virtue signal there, right? It's.
No, I know, but my point is.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's in the Fantastic. That's in the Fantastic Beasts movie. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, I didn't remember the. Yeah. I didn't have it.
She's not above like distorting the canon for the purpose of like integrating these things.
Okay.
So that's why it's weird to me that she didn't include it, and that kind of signifies to me that there was something else going on. It's like she might have wanted to, and then she didn't include it because she talks about it in interviews all the time, even recently.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It just.
But like, okay.
There was just like never any indication of like Grindelwald and Dumbledore having any romantic relationship ever. I don't even know if, like I said, Dumbledore, if anything, comes off to me as like Ace. Like.
Okay, is it believable to you? Reading the book that way, do you feel like that's inaccurate to his character? Do you think that like it's egregious or like egregiously inaccurate?
Is it inaccurate to his character for him to be gay?
Like, if it feels like not right for him, I guess. Like, you couldn't imagine a Harry Potter books where he is.
No, I don't think it's like unimaginable, but I feel like the Grindelwald stuff would have taken a different shape if the driving force behind that was romantic. I feel like we would have gotten different impressions of the Grindelwald Dumbledore relationship if like romantic was a big part of like what was going on there.
I mean, we can go back to the book if you want, but I definitely think there's passages that are like, I don't know, there's maybe something there, but I'm not gonna litigate that. This has already been a long convo.
Sure.
There's nothing else I really want to discuss. I'm glad that you found Harry Potter as interesting as I did, and I'm glad we had to talk about it.
Okay. Well, have fun. Be careful, buddy. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Bro, I can't. This mission is actually impossible. Did I already talk to this guy? Hot Uncle Sam, were you just in here?
Oh, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Were you just in here or what?
I was the guy that was at work.
Oh, okay. You're in again. What's up?
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm probably going to end up being the most schizo DGGer that's ever called in. So in advance, I'm sorry for that. I guess, damn. I'll start with my elevator pitch type beat. I kind of have this project that I'm working on that essentially is looking to de-radicalize certain voter groups and demographics through an understanding of human nature and the nature of the consciousness, the nature of the universe, and a bunch of other stuff.
Okay.
It's kind of a pretty... Jesus, dude, I have no idea how the fuck to dive in. If I should go with like policy shit or like the real schizo shit.
You already sound pretty schizo, so whatever you want to dive into, go for it.
Damn. All right. Shit. So, all right. I guess we'll talk about the nature of consciousness and the concept of a soul. I guess if I'm gonna start anywhere, that's a place to start. I wrote a manifesto. If anybody wants to read it, I think it's a good way for like trying to get an understanding of my worldview, and at least will offer people a good foundation for what I believe or what I think. If you go to hellopleasereadme.com, it's just it forwards to a Google Doc for my little manifesto. It's like a 20 to 30 minute read. I recommend if you do read it, you should read it, privately and with the ability to, read it with your own, internal voice. Anyways, so I kind of, I grew up super fucking religious, Southern Baptist. My dad was, Jew, and my mom was raised hella Catholic. And they both went to the most radical shit that they could find in the U.S. as far as religion goes, and that was Southern Baptist. So I grew up like wanting to be an evangelical preacher, but then I actually like read the Bible and shit, and things just seemed incongruent. Blah blah blah. Obviously, I'm like a full blown atheist by like the time I'm 18, right? Mm-hmm. So all this shit, like believing in anything metaphysical or anything outside of the confines of our universe or any of this shit, it's all very new to me. It's all very scary to like be like, damn, I actually believe this shit. But I do, and I've spent my entire life kind of running away from what I feel like is my purpose, and that's to more or less talk about this shit. So, fuck. All right, nature of consciousness and the soul. I believe that when a brain performs a function, ultimately creates the wrinkles, that shape our brain, our being, through the course of our life, largely shaped by our environment and genetics. So basically forces beyond our control. When we reach a certain point in our brain's development, we reach the ability, the potential to think about thinking, have the ability to self-reflect upon the journey of our brain being shaped and turned into whatever we turn into, right? And I think when that process happens, when that function is complete, everything in between, it's 3 and a little extra, but, male, female, everything that kind of works in between the bounds of that scale. But there's just nothing. And I don't think that our goal should be nothing. I think our goal should be...
Is a troll a real schizo? I think it's a real schizophrenic person. That's my guess. Notice how like the ideas like connect from one to the next to the next, and as soon as he brings up like a topic, goes to the next thing. But I mean, it could also be a really good troll, but this is like similar to the kind of the emails that I get.
And yeah, I don't know. I guess this is as well as I can try and like lay out my worldview. There's joy snatchers and there's light bringers, man. And you can either be based on like the life that you've lived.
Why not cut them off?
You're going to be a joy snatcher or a light bringer, But once you have
5 Collins, dude, what do you want me to say?
Developed a sense of self, and you were able to reflect on.
Okay, well, somebody cut him off. He sounds like Kanye, yeah, a little bit. Jesus, that was a tier. That guy tier 5, and you removed him from the room. He didn't get his money's worth. 30 to 1. What do you got for us, dude?
Hey, man. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Okay, so there's a few things. First off, can I call you Steven?
Yeah, dude. Why not, man? What do you got for us?
I don't want to out schizo the last guy.
No, you're good. You're already on your way. Go for it, dude. I don't care. What's up? What do you got, man?
All right, Steven, my buddy, my friend.
Yeah,
I wanted to call in my friend, my deep friend, Steven.
Yep.
I wanted to call in and tell you how to run your stream better.
Yeah, go ahead. Give me
but
some
first,
advice.
I also wanted to comment on your gameplay.
Okay.
It's really frustrating watching you do the same thing over and over again and have it not work.
Mm-hmm.
And then for you to do the exact same thing the next time and have it not work
again.
You should try a different thing, like
okay.
change your build order or something. Okay.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Now the stream, I think you should hire associate producers.
Wow. Tell me what an associate producer would do.
Okay, so I think actually what you need is a producer, but I don't think that you want to give up enough control, right? So if you hire someone and you give them the title of producer, they're going to take a lot of they're going to feel like they're very important in the stream, and I think that you want to maintain control.
Absolutely.
So you should hire maybe 4 or 5 associate producers. What they should do, you should assign them individual days of content.
Okay.
And what they should do is they should prepare a short executive summary document that lists out all kinds of different content for that day.
Okay.
Right? So that would be news stuff, drama stuff, just like stream stuff, personality news, entertainment stuff, just like a variety of subjects, most of which you generally cover. Like you kind of outsource this to chat a lot of the time. And what they should do is just like bullet point a doc for it that like gives you a bunch of stuff. They should also work to like help you schedule more guests and schedule events. So the events thing is like a long time ago. I just saw a clip of this like a month ago or a couple of weeks ago or something. And it was when Bose did a series of game shows that you and Moot and Dan played. And like that was great content. But I imagine that she did all that, right? Like you're not a guy who like organizes game shows on your stream.
Nope, she did it all. That's correct. Yep.
Yeah, so like that's another thing. Like for when someone is kind of like organizing, trying to like schedule like a loose schedule where they hand you a thing, right? And they just say like, "Here's a bunch of stuff that you can do today. You do whatever you want." Not like someone who's like rigidly scheduling your stream because you don't want that.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, so they would prepare like game shows and like events and shit, and involve good orbiters and good like basically like to manage all of the people in your extended universe, right? So that you can truly become their boss.
Gotcha.
Right, to have like organized events and like organized game shows and things and disorganized things and like better like block to block content where you have like people to talk to without a lot of downtime.
Okay.
And also two more things. When you do call-ins like this, it's way better as a viewer. I don't know if you want to actually turn this into content that's like good, but as a viewer, it's way better when you do it with like Moot or Dan or someone who like is mean to the callers. Not that like someone should be mean to me. I don't want someone to be mean to me. But like it's way funnier when like they're like, cut like get to it and then cut it off. You're way too nice to the fucking tier 5s. And the other thing is that the tier 5s you don't have like I'm not actually subscribed to tier 5 anymore. My subscription expired and you didn't take the tag away.
Okay.
So you have to make sure that you
I'm sure the roles probably update over time or something, but yeah. But go ahead.
Yeah, you should do that because like who knows? Like maybe the last guy was scamming you too. And so okay, the last guy, so he was like a schizo, right?
I think so.
And like if you're really nice to people who call in, which is like it's cool and everything, but like you're too respectful of them, and you need to like cut them off and like fucking like you need to like make them into content.
Okay.
Anyway, that's it.
Gotcha. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Thank you.
Imaru, what's up?
Hello.
Hello.
I have some things. First of all, the game. I think it's a 2D game appearing like a 3D game. So try to click the zombies' legs.
I mean, theoretically, everything is two-dimensional because I just have 2 dimensions on my monitor, right? But the thing is, you need to click it's the circle beneath them is the hitbox. It's not the actual body. That's the frustrating part, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant. It's just like Project Zomboid. It's actually a 2D game. Yeah, and if you talk about dissociation,
Dissociation, yeah.
Yes. What do you what do you mean by that in your head?
Dissociation is some mental phenomenon where, for whatever reason, you're like starting to like disconnect from your body. I guess things can start to feel not real, or you're just having like an altered conscious experience. I guess something that's like not even necessarily being sober. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but why? What about it?
Not just because you were talking about it on stream sometimes, that Love basically used it for like about everything. And,
yeah, I think people use like they'll say like I'm disassociating like all the time for it's just stupid, I think. But.
Yeah, and as someone who is experiencing it, it's basically yes, it's can be more than one thing. I basically have it when something traumatic happens or when something's triggering me, then my brain just runs off. And you can dissociate like emotionally, like not feeling your emotion, feeling numb.
Sure, I don't think I would ever describe that as disassociation, though. I think I would just say that that's like being numb, but...
Yeah, it's not... how to explain? It's not for a moment, it's not for a day, it's like basically for weeks and months on end. So you can't experience the emotion.
Isn't that just like anhedonia or whatever?
What?
Isn't that described as like anhedonia, like a loss of desire? Like blunted emotional state? Is that what we're talking about, or...?
It's not like a loss of desire. It's when I feel too much, I feel numb. Like I can't process the emotions, so my body goes to don't feel anything.
Okay.
And it's it can go for, and it's not just me. I heard that from more than one person. So it's not just like I and me thing.
Okay.
It's but I can't, like, I don't know how it's called in a psychologically sense. I just say I'm dissociating, but it's not the thing you would connect with dissociating. It's more like that what you said. It's a traumatic experience, and dissociating, like, go away, brain is somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah, and using it for everything is so dumb. I hate that too. It's like you just swipe away with your brain, and everybody says, "Oh, I'm dissociating." Yeah, I like you were arguing against that. I like that.
Gotcha.
Just wanted to say that. And you wanted to play online games with some people. You said sometime. Do you consider viewers, or do you like with friends?
I don't know. We'll see in the future. Just depends.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm done, and I remembered everything, I hope.
Okay. Well, thanks for the chat. Peace out.
Bye.
What's up, Steve?
Hi, what's up, buddy?
I gotta ask the Schizo a question real quick. Hot Uncle Sam, welcome back.
Oh, shit. Oh, no.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you aware of the body double theory?
The what? Body what?
Double theory? Body doubles in the government?
I'm sure I've heard of some shit like that, man. But what are you gonna tell me some interesting schizo shit that you are facetiously portraying to try and like help me realize what I'm doing is probably illogical?
No, I'm just I worked for a while as a fact checker for Facebook, so I've seen every schizo post that has ever existed. I've seen every frequency post about the chakras and the multiple universes and the aliens. So I'm just curious where you land on that spectrum.
Damn. I think that there is something to it. I think that what we create as just conscious beings through art, through culture, through everything that we create, it kind of reveals our nature to us, and that's how we can kind of recognize our higher purpose. I think that there is some fucking like weird interdimensional fucking space politics out there beyond our universe. I think that there is an existence outside of the box, and I know it's the wildest fucking shit that a person could try and say, but I don't know, man. I tried to figure out what's seems like the most relevant truth, or at least the pathway to a better world, a world in which there's not so much suffering, and this is where I've landed, I guess.
All right, gotcha. Anything else?
Yeah.
Was it you just bring him in here to ask him that question?
Yeah.
Real quick, I'm sorry, guys. I haven't been wearing tinfoil in my hats the last year, and so shit's been really fucking wacky. But
wait,
I'm
was that a
fucking with you.
serious comment or a joke?
No. Shit, dog. Yeah. Fuck. I understand that, like, literally, especially if like the definition of schizophrenia is seeing
I
things
think
and
if I let
hearing
him go, he's gonna go off into a whole other thing again. He's gonna
believing
keep
that
going.
things are
We'll see
there
what happens.
that there is no tangible way to perceive is actually there, aside from an individual's experience. But I believe that what I can try and do is reach beyond my experience to a kind of relatively universal experience. I think that all my schizo shit, if you try and argue with God, I mean, arguing with schizo shit is.
Did you drag him
What?
out, or is someone
No.
else doing that? I think it's RTBA or some.
God damn it,
guy.
RTBA. I was about to ask if you could astral project.
Have you ever spoken to people like this before?
Spoken to in particular? There's someone in college that was kind of like this, and I had an old roommate that was really deep into conspiracy stuff. But no, that guy's like a certified schizo.
Interesting.
But like the chakra memes, the projecting into other realities, the international intergalactic politics thing, like I've seen so much of that shit on Facebook. It was hilarious.
Well, I feel like that's just like a lot of conspiracy shit. For the things that I feel as a non-qualified person who maybe doesn't know anything, but it feels to me like especially when I listen to schizophrenic people, there's usually themes to a lot of what they say. But one of the things that I notice, Chad always tells me there's a word for this, and I always forget it. But there's this thing where you talk and you keep talking and talking and talking, and like you'll connect at the end of the sentence one word to like the next word of another sentence, and you can basically talk infinitely, connecting completely disconnected ideas like that over and over and over again. And it's like a pattern that I think I've noticed for some people. Kanye actually did it for a while, so maybe it's not just, or maybe he is actually experiencing psychosis. But there's a name for like this type of like chaining together.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I did AP Psych.
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna go get some food.
Be careful.
Let me grab you a non-schizo.
Okay. Noni, what's up?
Oh, hey, sorry. Well, I made the shit. So, Jesus fuck. I was gonna ask a philosophical question, but I don't want to sound like I'm that schizo from earlier.
Go for it, dude. We're all about philosophy here, man. What do you got?
Yeah, I was reading your positions, which I think is pretty at this point, right? But
it's pretty what?
Outdated?
Oh, no,
Like,
it's totally up to date. We've been working on it every day if you've seen the stream title. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, cool. I know you consider yourself an omni-liberal, which I guess my understanding is it's like some of the tenets of liberalism, like what, free will and I don't know, whatever, with more pragmatic, other pragmatic philosophies added in. Do you believe in free will?
No.
So you'd call yourself like a determinist?
Yep.
Okay. Do you like, what's the extent, I guess, what's your understanding of what determinism is?
Determinism means that conscious experiences are bound by the same physical laws of every other thing in the universe, and we wouldn't say there's something in the universe that exists beyond causality. If conscious experiences are held captive by causality, like any other physical interaction, that would mean that necessarily, given all the set of preconditions, we should be able to accurately determine like every single reaction until the end of time, theoretically, right? I think it's hard to summarize it.
So then, is this something that you think maybe people today would be able to cope with, or is this something that's like...
No, I don't think it feels good to think about it on like a human level. I mean, I don't even think about it much. It's just like a thing to be aware of, I guess.
Well, yeah, so like the fact that schizo came into this call, like that was going to happen no matter what. There was like, in a sense, predestined.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, shit.
Wait, why does the word predestined even exist? Doesn't destiny imply pre? Is there like a post-destined?
Fuck if I know. I'm just using words that I've heard before.
Sure, I mean, it's a real word. Predestined is a word, but like it's kind of a weird word if you think about it, right?
Yeah, you're actually right.
Huh. Weird.
I think that was all I was gonna ask you. I guess, is that if you had any idea or concept that you thought is a truth, but you don't think the majority of people should hear it. Is there anything you could think determinism wanted that, or is there anything else you could think of that you would assume or you think is a truth, but most people probably can't handle it? Do you know what I mean? Like, did I explain that well? Or?
Yeah, like uncomfortable truths that we're better off just not knowing. I'm not sure. I don't think I can think of any of those off the top of my head. I'm sure there's probably some examples of it, but...
Okay. Sounds good. Alright, I'm gonna go back to all the retards in chat.
Okay, be careful, dude.
Yeah, see you, bud.
Bye. 30-1, weren't you in here already?
Yeah, I was just here a minute ago, but since Hot Uncle Sam came back, I decided to come back.
Cool, dude. Well, what do you got for us, man?
Okay, so there's a couple other things I wanted to say.
Wait, were you the associate producer guy?
Yeah, I'm the associate producer guy. I'm your deep friend.
Okay.
We're deep friends, Steven.
Hey, we are. Go ahead. Only because the government assigned us to be friends, but yeah, go ahead.
Yes, you were my government-assigned friend.
True.
Okay. So I wanted to talk to you about your debate style.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So there's two general schools of debate, right?
Only two?
So like if you... I think so, yeah. I think if you break it down in this fashion, there's only two ways.
Okay, gotcha.
So if you imagine like a Reddit debate, right? Like a Reddit argument. You have one style is you quote, respond, quote, respond, quote, respond, right?
Okay.
This is where you dissect. This is basically how you generally drive debates.
That's how I like to do debates, yeah. A lot of people don't like this style, but yeah.
Yeah, you break it down into individual statements and claims, and then you address each individual claim, right? And the way that you generally approach debate is very, what I would call like negative. Like you're usually trying to prove that what the other person is saying is wrong.
Sure.
Right? So you're picking out flaws in the logic of what the other person is saying. The other school of debate is the more what I would call like a positive form of debate, right?
Okay.
So that's where you have like again, it's the Reddit thing. You have like two guys who are responding together to each other, but they're usually not really responding to each other.
They're just like, it's like politicians speaking. They're taking an opportunity to lay out their whole platform with every single answer, right?
Yeah. So what they're doing is not talking to each other at all. What they're doing is talking to the audience.
Yeah.
Right. And what you have is like two guys who are competing in selling a narrative to the crowd.
Yeah. So
you are like what I would call like a negative debater. You do like the point by point style, and I think that you're probably like you're exceptionally like obviously you've built like a whole career off of it, right? Like you're really fucking good at that. You're like probably the best at like picking apart somebody's argument point by point, stopping them, noticing that they're adding more and more points, keeping track of it all in real time, all that stuff. Like you're really fucking good at that, but you hate the other approach, right?
Sure.
The like selling a narrative to the audience. And I think that you as an entertainer, I as a viewer, Steven, my deep friend, I as a viewer would really like it if you got better, if you like trained yourself to be better at the other kind also.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I think that the reason is that you can do a lot more. Like you can have more different kinds of conversations. You can turn boring conversations into less boring conversations, right? So you have a problem where you can't talk to people.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Wait, how long have you been a fan of mine?
Like, I don't know, since like 17,
okay.
18.
Yeah, I feel like I've talked about this a lot. Yeah, that like more narrative styles of conversation tend to appeal to audiences more. Yeah,
they tend to appeal to audiences more, but they also, I think, can give you. This actually ties into the other kind of another point I really wanted to bring up, which is I really want you, and what I want matters, because we have a deep parasocial relationship. Okay. But I want you to advocate for stuff more.
Yeah.
Like I look at your platform, and it's like you got this insane community, right? Like you've got like one of the most active communities on the internet. Like you should advocate for things that you want to see happen and like push for that more, right? And like all of these times when you don't have someone to fight with, like that could give you something to fill that space. Does that make sense?
Yep.
What do you think?
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, are you going to do that?
Yep, tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Oh my god, you got it, dude. Okay.
All right. I'll let you go. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.